Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Eurocycle Sonoma here in Santa Rosa, California, where I have the pleasure of getting on the brand new 2020 Zero SRS Premium. Now, what I'm most excited about is to feel what 140 pound-feet of torque feels like on a motorcycle. This thing's only got 115 horsepower, but 140 pound-feet of torque, which is astounding. So let's take a look around the bike, let's get geared up, let's get on the road and see how it does on the streets. All right, guys, Eurocycle Sonoma here in Santa Rosa, and we have the brand new Zero SRS model. This is the first full fairing Zero that they've produced, and this bike has a couple different options I wanted to point out real quick. This does have the bag option, it does have the center stand option, so it's got a couple different things on it that generally aren't available or that aren't stock. So these are different add-ons, so you'll see that we had those, but this is the SRS Premium. So it's got the 14.4 battery pack, but the Premium, we're going to have a longer run time, and we've got a I always grab the clutch, there's no clutch. We've got a longer run time and a quicker charge time, a tad heavier, and we'll get on all the statistics here in a second, but you know, getting on the electric bikes are always quite different. So Eurocycles here in Sonoma, Santa Rosa, they do offer test rides, so if you guys are interested in a Zero test ride, come down and ride these things. They're quite interesting. So I want to give you guys a view of the TFT display, and I want to go through my different modes real quick, because we've got we're in rain mode, and I want to go ahead into that's custom, so I'm pushing and holding the button. I just want to go into street mode, so let's start it in street mode. And horn, of course we don't need to start the bike. It's ready to go, and of course no clutch, brake and brake, and we're ready to roll. So quite wild. So we're at just over 500 pounds on this bike, 515 pounds I believe, and that's total weight. So of course there's no dry or wet weight, because, well, wet, I guess you don't have fuel, so there's no wet weight, and of course there's no fluids and stuff like that. So but what's incredible about this bike, and like all electric, like Teslas and everything, is the amount of torque that this thing has. 145 pound-feet of torque, which is just absolutely wild to imagine that much torque in this little bike. So the torque is going to make the 110 horsepower feel like it's like 200 horsepower. So it's quite wild. And so of course there's, you know, no transmission. It's basically single speed essentially. And so we're in the street mode, and I really like the instrument cluster. The display is really very informational. It's going to give you your battery and your motor temperature, and of course your battery life. Let's talk about battery life. The Premium on a standard charger is about 2 hours of charge time for a 95% charge, and then if you have the rapid charger, you're only at about an hour. But what's interesting is on the non-premium, you're about double that on the standard charger, but the rapid charger, you're at just an hour and a quarter. So an hour and 15 minutes. So if you have the rapid charger is basically the way to go. If you've got a Zero, get the rapid charger. So now they give you statistics on battery life and how long this thing's supposed to go, and we're in the city on the Premium model. You're just over 200 miles, 205 miles or so, but in pure city riding, in city riding, you're about 200. On highway miles, you're just over 100. So they say combined, you're at about 135 miles, which is fine. But if you're commuting, you know, and you're going from here in Santa Rosa to San Francisco, you're gonna have to charge the bike when you get to San Francisco, because you're at about 70 miles. It'll take you to San Francisco, but getting back is going to be a little bit difficult. So just FYI. Now we've got the heated hand grips are on. And let's see. Now, I always try to like get familiar with this bike before, and I'll tell you that some of the things that I found out about the Zero is a little bit different with the instrument clusters and the bars and stuff. It's not quite as easy to understand, and sometimes you have to go through the different modes and stuff like that. So like, you know, I'm flipping through the modes and nothing's changing here. Now I know to change the mode I have to push and hold the button and switch side to side. Of course, we've got our blinkers, and that's our cruise control, so that's nice. Push and hold that, so we'll see that. But the heated hand grips are on right now, so we've got to figure out how to get those things off. So let me put this down. Sorry for the wind noise. So I'm in street mode, and I'll tell you, the taking off from that, I had the throttle all the way open, like right now, and it's got some pickup, but it's manageable. It's really, really manageable. So let's kick this thing up, because I want to feel the sport mode, and I want to feel what this thing. Holy Jesus! Wow, what a difference. So let's go through the modes real quick. So we've got sport mode, we've got our custom mode, which allows you to do throttle and whatnot. We've got our rain mode, which, you know, in rain mode here, let's go ahead and select rain mode off the throttle. I mean, it's like nothing. It's like we're on a little 300. So that's really nice to be able to have the rain mode for kind of the beginners and stuff. Zach told me, he says, you know, we put everybody out on test rides in rain mode, so everyone starts in rain mode. So you can see I'm 3/4 throttle right now. So very, very nice, very, very manageable. Of course, earlier we were in the street mode, the eco mode. Let's go ahead and into eco mode. So eco mode, you know, obviously we're going to be running eco mode when we're commuting to San Francisco on the bike. But you can see that the traction control, it does have traction control. Traction control stays down here. So in the eco mode, we're throttle responsive in the eco. So, you know, it's not basically giving us much battery or much motor in the throttle, okay? But it's giving us our sport suspension or sport traction control and ABS. Now, push and hold menu, or excuse me, mode, and then over into street, and then over into sport. Oh. So it's so what I do want you guys to understand, as I'm fussing around with this, I'm here fussing around with this, and I do research on these bikes, so you know. But I'm a new rider to this, and I want you guys to have the experience of what it's like being on this bike for the very first time. So so seeing some of the things that, you know, I'm fussing with, I really want you guys to understand that this is what you're going to experience as the first time out on this bike. So let's go ahead and push and hold the cruise control, which then on this next little bit we'll be able to set the cruise control by pushing that down again. So you push and hold, turns it on, push it, let it go. We're at 45 miles an hour, so that's nice. Push it again, take it off, and sport mode. Ready? It's a little wild. The power is very linear, so it's very nice and smooth, but I'll say it's not unmanageable. It doesn't feel like, you know, like the S1000RR. It doesn't feel like a full sport bike. And what this really feels like, this really feels kind of like a VFR, kind of like that kind of styling bike. Obviously the looks of it looks very similar to a VFR, but I'll say that the feel, the ergonomics of it is very, very nice. Good, nice bars to it, so very responsive as far as the steering. There is no damper on this, so it is very loose. I would have liked to have seen a damper maybe on it of some sorts, but it's not you know, a lot of people say that they're not necessary, but I'm a big damper person. I really like the damper on the front ends. I really like mine good and tight. So yeah, so that's just a personal preference, but very easy to ride. To get on this thing is just, it's very nice. It's very easy, you know, flooring it right there. It's not unmanageable. I don't feel like this thing's just knocking me back like, you know, like crazy. So very manageable bike. And then again the gauge cluster, you know, we're able to really, it gives you some good information. We have a 65-mile range, 8 miles on the bike. And then we have our battery meter over here, and then we have our motor temperature over here. And again, the heated hand grips are still on, and I don't know how to turn them off. So that's the hazard lights. Hazard lights are back there. Of course, we have our headlights, our flasher, and then our high beam there, and then our horn is down below, and then of course our blinkers. And I'll tell you, it gives you a smile when you crack that throttle, and it really just takes off. So now the braking system, it's by a guy named Jay Wan, and I was curious to find out who Jay Wan is, and did a little research. The braking system is by the guy that builds all of the brake systems for race team Kawasaki. So pulling the clutch, the Zero rep just let me in on that, because I was like, who's this Wan guy and why is he building your guys' brakes? So Jay Wan is the basically the racing brake company that is like BMW has Hayes. Now they're using Hayes. So the J1, so you can see the JJ over there on the brake lever. And I'm assuming it is the Master is built by him as well. So very nice. Very nice feeling bike. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Oh, listen to that Aston. So let's talk about that. There's no sound. You hear a little buzz, but there's no real sound to this bike, which is, again, another wild thing. The first time I rode a Zero, my biggest thing is obviously pulling the clutch. I still want to do it, which is just instinctive of riding a motorcycle. But the sound also, there's just no sound. It's got a little buzz to it, and that's about it. So, but back to how easy this bike is to ride. I mean, you know, you put it in the street mode, and you know, we could be running around the city and it's super simple to ride. Handling is great. Handling so far feels phenomenal because it's got the bars, you know, and the seat. Let's talk about the seat. We're in a saddle style seat. Okay, little narrow in the inner thighs. The seat kind of ends a little bit early. I would have liked it right under my thighs, just a little bit wider. I'll point it out here when we get back to Eurocycles, but I would have liked it a little bit wider here. Kind of gets a little narrow. But as far as the fit of the bike and the comfort of the bike, ergonomically, my legs are back a little bit, and then the I almost wanted to shift right there. I literally just put my foot to shift. So ergonomically, you know, my legs are kind of nice. I'm in a somewhat of a sport touring style positioning, so it's a good feel. And let's get into this little turn right here, which has a little bit of an S. Very nice feel. And out in the sport mode. Yeah, you know, I'm saying this. If you are a beginner to motorcycles and you wanted to get into a nice, safe, easy to ride motorcycle, these Zeros are super nice. And Bogdan thought the same way when she was on the SRF, which is the kind of naked version of this bike. Let's park it here and take one quick final walk around look at this thing. But the only thing that's getting me is the heated hand grips. Usually there's a button for it, and I don't see any button for it. So and you can see that the heated hand grips are in, and it also does have some Bluetooth capabilities, so you can have the Bluetooth on, and then yeah, there's not much, you know, it doesn't give you much to the bike. So, you know, going over here, it doesn't give you any change between different menus or anything. So I don't see that there's a menu button. So very simple, very easy. Side stand goes down, and then turn this off, and we're off. And the charge port is right here. So here's your charge port, and then we've got the bags on this bike, so very nice luggage size. So nice. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, $2,500 tax credit or credit right now. So they give you a little bit of the electric credit is still here. Now, base price, we're looking at just over $20,000, which is a little bit much. But if, like I said, if you're, I mean, you know, offset that with fuel and offset that with a 5-year unlimited powertrain warranty. I mean, that's just great. It's just, it's a very nice bike. It's not my style, personally, not my style, but a very, very nice bike. And you can see the brakes show a suspension, front and rear, but very nice bike. So if you guys are interested in any test rides, Eurocycle Sonoma, Reno, and Las Vegas, they do all kinds of test rides. They've got BMWs, they've got Triumphs, they've got Ducatis, they've got Zero. So if you guys are interested, give Zach a call. He's got this SRS, he's got an SRF available, and he's got a couple other Zeros. So come down and ride these things, because you guys will be impressed as I am with how easy this thing is to ride. So we got to get on that beast next. And there's the Super Beast. What's up, Super Beast? But Zach, as always, thank you so much for letting me come out and ride these bikes. Eurocycle Sonoma here in Santa Rosa. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and of course smash that like button. If you guys got any questions or got any more information that maybe I missed, please comment down below, and let people know. If you guys have one of these new SRSs, what do you feel? What do you like? What do you dislike? Let me know in the comment down below. But we will see you guys next video. See you then. Bye-bye.